Hi folks, my name is Sean Christian. All that I ask is that you come here with an open heart and an open mind because you're watching another episode of Threeper TV.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Hi folks, I'm Sean Christian with Threeper TV. Today is September 2nd, 2015. I really tried to decide what I wanted to do this week, what I wanted to talk about. Lots in the news about Planned Parenthood. There's going to be a lot more in the news about it coming up very soon, I'm sure. I also talked quite a bit about it in the last video, so I wanted to expand a little bit on that. I wanted to bring out some things that Planned Parenthood says that you'll hear in the XYQ bullcrap media, which is not exactly the case. They are very, very good at shading numbers and showing you what they want you to see and not really truly throwing the facts out there. Everything that I'm going to talk about today came from this pamphlet. This is the Planned Parenthood Annual Report for 2013-2014. I did not make these numbers up. You can go on the internet to Planned Parenthood Annual Report. You can download this as a PDF. You can look at it. You can see these numbers that I'm talking about. This is not something that Threeper TV just decided to, oh, well, let's just make up. No, these are facts. These are their numbers. This is their report. We're going to look at it a little more, probably under a little bit more of a microscope than what they would hope, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. Okay, folks, let's start looking at some numbers. Now, Planned Parenthood will state that, only 3% of our total procedures are abortions. Well, when you look at it, that's kind of correct, and mathematically it works out. Last year, they state that they provided or charged for, or both, 10,590,433 total services. Now, those services include abortions, they include pap smears, they include pregnancy tests, any single procedure that they did is included in this 10,590,433. Now, how many of those were actually abortions? This one's kind of startling. They actually performed 327,653 abortions. Let that sink in for a second. In the year 2013 to 2014, Planned Parenthood, by their numbers on their annual report, state that they performed 327,653 abortions. Okay, so let's kind of switch it around a little bit. Let's look at how much money they actually had to deal with, how much money they actually made. By their annual report, Planned Parenthood in the year 2013 to 2014 claims that they made $1,303,400,000. It's a lot of money, folks. That's $1.3 billion. Anyone that can say that this is not a business, that this is not an organization in to make money, to make the bills all work out and everything, it's absolutely insane. That's a pipe dream. These guys are bringing in tons and tons of cash. So where did all that money come from? Okay, they readily admit that the government health services, grants and reimbursements, okay, this comes from grants that are provided by the government. This comes from Medicaid. Any place that they receive money from that has to do with the federal government was $528,400,000. Okay, let that number sink in. $528 million came from the United States government. Your tax money. Okay, that's where that money came from. The government doesn't make money unless you pay taxes. So they took $528.4 million of your dollars and provided them to Planned Parenthood. Okay, let's move on. Okay, from non-government health revenue, they made $305 $1.3 million. It doesn't state what non-government health revenue is. I'm not going to make any kind of guess on that. I don't know. Some more research needs to be done on that. But anyway, that's where it came from. Private contributions and bequests. People who just thought, hey, let's just give Planned Parenthood some money because they're doing a good thing. And actually, when it comes to providing women's health services, I agree with that. They are doing a good thing. A lot of this money came from people possibly who passed away and had left money in their wills to Planned Parenthood, all totaling up to a whopping $391.8 million. Now, this one's kind of interesting too. I don't know where they made another $77.9 million. I would certainly like to have that at the bottom of my financial statement. Oh yeah, by the way, I made $77.9 million underneath my other category. So now let's start getting into the nitty gritty of this. These are the statistics that I cannot back up. The reason that I can't is because I made several phone calls to Planned Parenthood facilities in my area. None of them would talk to me, obviously because I was a man and I was asking about abortion costs. Actually, these figures came from the internet as well, from someone who did do this research. And you can find this as well. Average cost of an abortion. Look it up on the internet. You can find these figures. Just, 2 or 3 entries down the page. You can find this. Someone called the California Planned Parenthood, somewhere in California. That's where these statistics came from. So these are not mine. I readily admit that. But let's take a look. From 0 to 11 weeks, an abortion average cost $648. From 12 to 15 weeks, $800. 16 to 17 weeks, $1,050. 18 to 19 weeks, $1,700. 20 to 21 weeks, $2,225. And yeah, 22 to 24 weeks. Folks, that is a baby who is at 6 months in term. 6 months. 3 months away from being born. That one will cost you $3,275. Now, what that all averages out to is $1,616 per abortion. And those numbers will go up and down, I'm sure, by region of the United States, by different economic circumstances wherever those Planned Parenthood places need to be. But we're just going to work with this as an average. These are the best numbers that I could come up with. I looked and looked and looked. If someone has better numbers, please let me know, because I would like to have this a little more accurate than what I have it from my own standpoint. But this was the only way that I could do this. So this is the number that we're going to go with for right now. Okay, so here's where the numbers start getting interesting. If you take the total services from Planned Parenthood at $10,590,433, which is every single procedure that they did in that year that they billed for, and the number of abortions at 327,653, let's also take into consideration the $1,616 average per abortion. If you take that number and you multiply it into the 327,653 abortions that they did, Planned Parenthood received $524,244,800 from abortions. Now think about that one for a minute. $524,244,800 from abortions. So what I really wanted to do was get down underneath some of these numbers, look at it so I could make some decisions for myself. And this is what I came up with. Number one, Planned Parenthood does not need one single dime of my money to provide women's health services. That's a fact. Look at the math. That's true. Do I feel that they should? Yes. I believe that there are a lot of people that need to go to Planned Parenthood who maybe young girls. I don't know why, because there are so many other health facilities that take Medicare, Medicaid, and other forms of payment. I don't know why they would need to do that, but I honestly feel that if a woman feels like she needs to go there, she should be able to go there, get a pregnancy test, get a pap smear, be tested for STDs, get medication for these STDs, be treated for them. And I wholeheartedly believe that. However, I don't want them using my money to provide abortions, especially if they're going to take these aborted fetuses, these little babies that they pull out, cut them up and sell them. That's absolutely heinous to me. That is unacceptable. So, is it possible that maybe we could tell Planned Parenthood, okay, here's a good idea. Since only 3% of what you do is abortions, how about you stop doing abortions and we'll keep giving you the $500 million a year to provide women's health services? How about that? Then, if somebody wants to go and take the private money, which adds up to actually even more than that, over $500 million, and open up some kind of clinic that's privately funded, more power to you. If that's where your heart is, go do it. I'm not going to agree with it. I just don't want to be the one that is filtering the money into it. I'm sure that you probably feel the same way, or you wouldn't be watching this. Hey folks, that's 3 per TV for this episode. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And just remember, if you like what you see, please share it. It means the world to me. Like I said, I'm not trying to get hits, I'm not trying to get likes, but just share what I'm giving you, because there may be somebody else out there who needs the information, who for some reason can't go or doesn't want to go, doesn't have the resources to go and get the information for themselves. So share this with everybody. Let's make it go viral. Remember, my friends, stay vigilant. Don't believe what they tell you. Find out for yourselves. Make your own decisions. Thanks for tuning in.